Here's a fun topic to talk about: Nintendo Directs. You know, those traditional things where fans always watch them and then they're like, yeah, yeah, whoa. However, since the release of the Nintendo Switch, the format's always been the same. You get the regular old announcements for games no one will remember, and then you get some big announcements, then you get the big last announcement, and then you always get people complaining about it on Twitter. It's the weird sort of entertainment that we gamers like with a very vain love for it. Like Nintendo Directs, they cannot be replaced. They're like gambling. Sometimes you just have to keep on going if you want to win, otherwise you'll never win at all. That's the strangest comparison I've ever had for a Nintendo Direct. But we're not here to talk about the Nintendo Directs of today. No, we are here to talk about the good old Directs. The first ones that honestly suck ass thinking back to them. Obviously, this was very new territory back then, but it might as well be fun to just go back, watch the first three before the Wii U was released, and then just talk about them on the way through them, because they're pretty something else. The first Nintendo Direct would premiere in Japan and in North America. Japan did have their own Nintendo Direct. It was much longer than the North American one, and we in Europe, we got the North American one. I don't remember it specifically though. It was on our eShop when it was open, but that doesn't matter. Let's get over with the first Nintendo Direct, the North American version.
Hi, I'm Reggie from Nintendo of America, and this marks a new endeavor for Nintendo. For this first installment, we've got some important news if you're an owner of Nintendo 3DS or just thinking of becoming one. And really, if you're neither one yet, what's wrong with you?
Oh
Nintendo 3DS owners already know what it delivers.
Yeah, the presentation in this is very awkward, especially with the first announcement that was made in this direct.
But now, there's even more. Maybe most noteworthy is the addition of Hulu Plus service, which is coming soon to Wii and Nintendo 3DS.
Oh yes, Hulu Plus on Wii and Nintendo 3DS. I can't wait to see how long that will last. Oh, well, I guess they were loyal. However, I will go back to the point. Yeah, the presentation here is very awkward. Like, I could tell, like, I believe in the Japanese version is a bit more up to standard, but here Reggie does not look all that convincing. It sounds like regular business talk. Reggie has about as much motivation in this as I did talking about amiibos. However, in terms of the games talked about here, there's really not all too much, but there are some big mentions such as The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword, Mario Kart 7, and Swapno. I'm gonna count that in because that, yeah, his thumb is covering part of the photo. After all of that mess, Nintendo cleaned up their act for the February 22nd, 2012 Nintendo Direct. We in Europe, we got our first Direct, however it was a translation of the Japanese one. So, we had to get our own one basically. However, North America did get their own Direct as well. Yeah, it was a bigger improvement than this mess.
Hi there. Welcome to Nintendo of America headquarters in Redmond, Washington. And thanks for joining us in the latest edition of Nintendo Direct.
So we've basically got improvement in basically everything. Reggie's speaking more confidently. Swapnote gets mentioned for some reason. So I'm imagining we will be seeing a lot more of him, just like in the last one, right?
Bill Trinan has all the details.
Hi, I'm Bill from the Nintendo Treehouse.
Oh yeah, this is where Bill makes his debut. There's about almost a minute of him walking down a hallway and he's talking about random games. Dylan's Rolling Wrestling gets a big mention here. I believe it was mentioned in previous direct. I just don't remember it at all. And then it cuts to an interview about Good Icarus Uprising.
Hey, John, I know you've been busy, so thanks for taking time out today to talk to me.
It's good to be here.
So, how do you typically hold the game when you're playing?
I'm actually a stand guy.
You're a stand guy?
I'm a stand guy. I like to use the stand. So in addition to 6 AR cards that come packed with the game, the stand comes with every copy of the game.
Okay, weird bit. Who knows that there was a stand for the 3DS? This is my first time hearing about it. The interview is actually pretty well done, but at the same time, this is like most of the direct, and even Mario Tennis Open, another fun mention, that also gets a lengthy interview. Like again is okay, but maybe I just complain too much, I don't know. Fortunately, it does end off with Reggie announcing the cover for Xenoblade Chronicles Wii. I've never played that, but it looks cool. And then, Reggie finishes off the direct with one final announcement from the producers of Final Fantasy Last Story. I don't know what that is, to be honest. I'm not an RPG guy. However, that isn't the last game he does mention. There are a few others, as well as Spirit Camera. What the f? Now, before you ask about the date, well, this is the first European Direct. North America didn't get one on this date, so I might as well throw in a tiny bit of context for those that don't know. This is Satoru Shibata. He was the president of Nintendo of Europe back during the time of this Direct, up until 2018. And presenting in a Direct in a language that isn't your native one is already a tough task. I will throw that out there. Like, this guy, he is a really good guy. Like, obviously he isn't as prominent as Satoru Iwata or Reggie back during those days. But I think it would be a safe thing for me to say this. This Direct isn't really as good as the previous ones. Satoru Iwata starts off this Direct basically saying this is the first Nintendo Direct intended for Europe and we're really excited to present it for you guys. It is really heartfelt, and then once it starts, it goes downhill from there. Basically, Mr. Shibata goes on about like the main things that will be included with Mario Tennis Open, which I mentioned in the previous Direct, and then it cuts off to a trailer for Mario Tennis Open that repeats the same things. Like with all of the issues I mentioned with the North American Directs as well as this Direct, they all have their own issues. Like there's the first Direct which seemed very awkward, and then there's a second one which had interviews that went on for too long, and then this one just it blends into awkwardness. It doesn't have the interview issue, but it's a very weird way of basically compiling a format when you're describing the many different features of a game, and then it just shows a trailer that repeats the same things. We do get more stuff about Kid Icarus Uprising, which was also mentioned in the previous Direct, and it's basically the trainer issue that I mentioned before. Although I must add, Heroes of Ruin has the best sound quality from the games I've seen so far. And after Black to White to Dream Raider, we get news on Epic Mickey, and then it's basically a developer showcase for it, which, yeah, that's kind of expected to be honest. Kingdom Hearts 3D gets some spotlight in this Direct, and then we get some of the throwaway announcements, including a Final Fantasy rhythm game, and then also a Wii game, which I really like for some reason. I'm not joking here, I've never heard of this game before, but I actually do think it seems pretty fun, so I'll probably go try it someday. We get a system update announcement about folders, and then we get an announcement about the Louvre Museum having an application on the 3DS. Okay, and then the last announcement made in this Direct, Near Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo 3DS. This is actually a pretty good announcement. Although I didn't catch this pop when I was watching it because I had already grown honestly exhausted from this direct. And then 4 days later, the Wii U got announced, not a name, but a successor to the console. And that is where we end of this video. Maybe I'll do more. I don't know. Maybe I'll do more. Anyways, bye-bye.